just wanted y'all to give y'all a glance at currently what our lead source is looking like and put some dollar amounts behind it so that it maybe gives you some inspiration about a different lead source avenue. And the cold outreach takes more effort, takes more balls to get uncomfortable, but dang it, it works.
You can lose money. If I just say to 4 guys, just call complexes all day and I'll check with you in a month, they could absolutely lose money. But not if somebody's checking on it and running that daily and looking at end of day reports and changing it. No way.
Now, this is highly dangerous because these are not opted in. So I could get stung by privacy department, communication laws, whatever it is. The problem is there is a risk and you just need to understand the risk and reward side of it. I'm not doing it on a mass program. I'm doing it for myself, and I'm willing to take the risk if it's going to help me have a predictable lead flow.
So we'll go over different things about where leads are coming from, the pages they're coming from, overall AI stuff, tracking, plus 3 big shifts that are happening in some of the algorithms that are probably 3 of the biggest between organic, LSA, and then the Google business profile, probably the biggest shifts that have happened in a very long time. Lead volume was up around 110% across the board, across 52,000 leads in 140 different businesses. What we're seeing from the digital aspect is basically one out of every 4 leads, our clients are getting a quote sent out with it across the board. City pages, service pages, and then city plus service pages. So those technical SEO pages that are on your website have a 37% quote rate of a quote going out versus blogs at 13%. And then AI is rising, still a tiny piece of the puzzle, but it's at 77% growth so far this year, at least from what we've seen. And it's 44% quotable. So almost 20% higher, again, just a smaller volume. So just think about where your consumer is at, not where you and your fellow peers are at. So a lot of campaigns are optimized on vanity metrics, which could be cost per click, cost per lead, impressions, whatever you want to look at. What we have found has been the best from an optimization standpoint is to actually optimize based on return on investment down to the keyword or the exact ad that you see on Facebook. Not sending this information back with a feedback loop. Google and Facebook are going to spend more of your money on, hey, you got a $10 cost per lead, or your cost per click was super low here because you're not feeding it information. What is changing though is the manual bidding. And that's going to go to automated and target CPA. So target cost per acquisition on that lead. So if you do roofing and you do windows, or you do HVAC and you do plumbing, and you're like, hey, I only want to spend $50, $100, whatever it is, max on this lead. If you don't separate those campaigns out into separate campaigns, you're going to say, hey, I'll pay $100. You may only want to pay $100 for one service, not both of them. So you're actually going to have to create a separate campaign. The other thing is that the historical reports are not transferring. So my recommendation to you is to go export those right now so you have the lead data and you can cross-reference that hopefully with your CRM or project management system to actually know what your return on investment's been, so you can quantify what you want that target CPA to be at. They announced it last week. Is they're going to have AI starting to call, and they're going to start asking questions as if they were a customer. Then Google's now going to get that information and start deprioritizing your Google business profile to say you don't do commercial. And then the other thing, so Google Search Console, you now can see AI visibility in here, not necessarily like what platform they used or even what keyword they typed in, but you can see how many impressions you're getting from AI, which then as you're tracking your leads, you'll be able to identify, okay, I have this many impressions. Here's how many leads I got from AI, to start being able to get all that stuff segmented. Social engagement, when somebody goes to Google and you've started to see TikTok videos show up in search, you've seen YouTube videos show up in search, Instagram and Facebook, those posts are now getting indexed. So if somebody types in roof repair near me and they find your recent Instagram reel, that will now be tracked inside of Google Search Console because they went from Google to Instagram to your website. They were working with another agency for 3 years and they never had visibility on what keywords were actually converting. They sent out yesterday a $250,000 quote from a Google ad. And with our system, we're able to identify that this was the Google ad campaign it came from. This was the keyword that they typed in. And then this was the landing page that we sent them to. So this was an $83,000 lead that they already sent. We know exactly the campaign it came from. We know the piece of content that they saw and the exact picture or video that they saw in there as well. Post once a day, twice a day. It doesn't have to all be about your business, but when you show up more, we get 3 to 5 leads a day through my personal social media, and I rarely ever talk about marketing.
So here's what we did. We told the story. We showed everybody how to do it. And then I did for 30 days. I said, all right, this month we're going to do the Google review challenge, $50 for every review that you stick in there. I had so much traction. I was like, dang, man, I'm about to go broke paying $50 a review. Most people just say, would you mind leaving me a Google review? And they walk away and it never gets done because we get interrupted as soon as we leave or as soon as the customer leaves our presence.
She could not shut up about it on Facebook. I told her, stop talking about Joe Biden, stop talking about politics, start talking about real estate. You'll sell much more real estate. But he pays guys, I think it's $8 to send his team a post on the field, and they pay them $21 if they post it. They post 3 a day. And he says they never go a day without getting a lead. He says he's never gone a day, 7 days a week in a long time without getting a good lead every day.
I still get a lead or two a week for our auto glass company that we sold almost a year ago because people have been seeing me talk about it for 6 years now.